The gift I wired you was $1 million. Wow, Grandpa. Thank you so much for the $120, I said politely, holding up the card I'd just opened at Thanksgiving dinner. I was seated at the far end of the table, next to the kitchen door, like always. My parents sat closer to Grandpa, grinning smugly like they owned the air in the room. But something shifted. Grandpa's carving knife paused midair. He looked up from the turkey, narrowed his eyes at me, and said in a firm voice, "The gift I wired you was $1 million. Silence. The entire table froze. I stared at him. What? He nodded. On your 25th birthday, last week. I transferred it directly to the account your parents set up for you years ago. You didn't receive it? I slowly turned toward my parents. My mother's face turned a sickly gray. My father's hand clenched around his wine glass. My brother choked on his drink. Grandpa's voice was louder now, trembling with suspicion. Where is the money? No one spoke. I could feel the room unraveling. And I wasn't the only one. Grandpa's next sentence, cold, clear, and thunderous, cut through the air like a sword. If it's gone, you've stolen from my blood. You've stolen from my blood. The wine glass slipped from my father's hand and shattered on the hardwood floor. My mother gasped, but Grandpa didn't flinch. His knife was still in one hand, but it was his voice that pierced everything. I want the bank records, he said. Tonight. My parents began scrambling, muttering nonsense. There must be a mistake. Maybe it's delayed. We thought it was a test gift, but none of it made sense. Grandpa turned to me. Sweetheart, come with me. He led me outside, down the front steps, into his car. He drove us straight to his private banker. Within 10 minutes, the truth came out. The transfer had gone through to an account under my name, yes, but the secondary signatories were my parents. They had drained it within 2 hours. All $1 million gone. Dispersed into their retirement account, luxury credit lines, even a boat loan. My stomach turned. They used me. Grandpa didn't speak. He just stared at the paperwork, his hands trembling, his lips tight. Then he said quietly, "This ends tonight." We drove back. My parents were still pretending nothing happened. Grandpa handed me his phone. Call the family attorney. And then he stood in the doorway and announced, "There will be consequences. There will be consequences." Mom shot up from the couch, her face flushed with panic. "Dad, let's talk about this. It's not what you think." "Then explain," Grandpa said coldly. "Explain how you drained your daughter's inheritance. Explain how you forged her signature and moved money through 6 shell accounts like some Wall Street crooks." Dad looked like he wanted to bolt. "It was a misunderstanding. We thought she'd blow it." "You thought?" I said, my voice shaking. "It wasn't even your decision. I raised you," Mom barked. "We sacrificed for you. You owe us." Grandpa took one step forward. "She owes you nothing. You abused your position as her guardians, legally and morally." He handed me a folder. Inside were printed statements, transfers, and signed authorizations, some forged, others disturbingly real. My name, their signatures, dates that matched birthdays, holidays. While I was blowing out candles, they were stealing behind my back. "You'll return every cent," Grandpa said, "with interest, or I'll press charges." Dad's face twisted. "You'd send your own son to prison?" Grandpa didn't blink. "You sent yourself." The room fell into a stunned silence. My brother backed away slowly like he wanted no part in this. Grandpa turned to me and said, "Get ready. We're rewriting everything. We're rewriting everything." The next morning, a family meeting was scheduled, not by my parents, but by Grandpa and his lawyer. Everyone showed up, my aunts, uncles, cousins. My parents tried to play it cool, putting on fake smiles, serving coffee, pretending the night before had been a family misunderstanding. But then the lawyer opened the leather binder on the table and said, "We've audited all accounts. The theft is confirmed." Gasps. My mom's hand flew to her chest. Dad stood up, shouting, "You can't do this. You don't have proof." "I have your emails," I said, standing. You gave me that old laptop last year, remember? The one with all your saved passwords. The room went dead silent. I opened my tablet and played the audio files. My parents discussing how to move the money before I noticed, laughing about kids being too emotional for that kind of wealth. My brother walked out. The lawyer continued, "As of today, the inheritance is frozen. New trusts will be established, with you as sole beneficiary and your parents removed as legal representatives." Mom collapsed into her chair, pale and breathless. And then Grandpa looked at me and said, "You're the head of the family now. You're the head of the family now." I couldn't breathe. For years, I'd been the quiet one, the overly emotional daughter, the obedient girl who didn't talk back, didn't question, didn't fight. And now my entire family was staring at me like I'd grown a crown. My parents looked betrayed. By me. "Don't do this," Mom whispered. "You're tearing this family apart." "No," I said quietly. "You already did that." Grandpa stood beside me, his hand resting on my shoulder. "It's time we stopped rewarding betrayal and punishing kindness." The lawyer laid out new documents. "These are the revised wills, land ownership transfers, and full restoration clauses. You are the sole authority. Your parents have been legally restricted from accessing any funds in your name. Retroactive damages are pending." Dad's jaw clenched. "You're destroying us." "I trusted you," I said. "You didn't just steal money. You stole my future. And you laughed about it." Tears welled in Mom's eyes, but I didn't move. Not this time. My cousins and aunts looked at each other, but no one defended them. Not anymore. After the meeting, as the house emptied, Grandpa hugged me tighter than he ever had before. "You didn't just survive," he whispered. "You transformed." And that night, something inside me shifted forever. Let's see them survive without lies. The fallout came fast. The news of the revised will rippled through our extended family like wildfire. My parents were suddenly cut off. No access to Grandpa's estate, no stake in the trusts, no financial ties left to hide behind. And then came the eviction. The lawyer handed me a key. "They've been living rent-free in the Lakeview property. You now own it." I drove there the next morning. Mom opened the door in her robe, stunned. "What are you doing here?" "Collecting what's mine." She laughed, until I handed her the notice. "Eviction. Immediate. No rights to appeal. You can't do this." I already did. Behind her, I saw the life they built for my money. New rugs, gold-trimmed mirrors, imported kitchenware. They'd used every cent to upgrade their world, while I struggled in silence. "You're heartless," Dad spat from behind her. "No." I just finally learned from the best. They were given 48 hours. The next day, a moving truck arrived. My mother screamed at the workers, cried in the driveway. But no one stopped. No one came to defend them, because the truth was out now. The masks were off, and justice had finally arrived, wearing my name. Begging looks different on them. By the third day, my parents were living out of a hotel off the freeway. My aunt sent me screenshots. Mom was posting passive-aggressive quotes on Facebook, things like, "Families should never choose money over love," and "One day, you'll regret pushing us away." Except I didn't. I was finally breathing. I moved into the Lakeview property, not because I needed it, but because I wanted to feel what justice tasted like. I kept everything just as they left it. Their framed pictures, their decorative vases, their overly expensive taste. But now, all of it belonged to me. One night, there was a knock. I opened the door to see them both, disheveled, tired, holding a box of old photo albums. "We're sorry," Mom whispered. "We were scared. We thought you'd never succeed without us." Dad nodded, voice low. "We made mistakes." I let them speak. I listened. And then I smiled. "I forgive you," I said. Hope flickered in their eyes. But forgiveness doesn't mean access. Their faces dropped. No more money. No more manipulation. And no more pretending. I closed the door gently. Behind me, my grandfather sat on the couch, sipping tea. "They'll never understand," he said softly. "I don't need them to," I replied. Because now I finally understood myself. Ready for the final part? Inheritance wasn't the gift. Peace was. The final piece fell into place a week later. My grandfather called a family meeting, not for business, not for property, but for truth. He stood in front of everyone, voice steady. My granddaughter didn't steal anything. She earned every cent I gave her. She showed loyalty when her own parents showed greed. She stood alone when they left her out in the cold. And she never once asked for more than she needed. All eyes turned to me, some with pity, others with shame. I just sat still, heart calm. I'm not here to defend myself, I said. I'm here to end the story you all tried to write without me. Mom opened her mouth, closed it. Dad looked away. I stood, pulled out a small envelope, and set it on the table. Inside, photos, screenshots, bank statements, a full breakdown of everything they ever siphoned from me.
Keep them.
Frame them.
Study them.
Because this is the last time you'll ever get close enough to hurt me. I walked out without looking back. Outside, the air was crisp, quiet.
Mine.
I didn't need revenge anymore. Because I had something better.